Chums, it is I, Captain Stephen, EXO, and yes, I am standing at my news desk. It feels like I was only standing at my news desk the other day. Hold on, 1 second. Yes, I was. So, what? I've got news? I have. I've got even more news, Chums. Even more footage. Yes, footage of the new update that's coming soon. EXO, as always, my little friend, execute. Okay, Chums, I am going to put a card at the top to the original IGN footage.
Right. We started to have much higher player numbers. We started to make it so that everyone is online. What that means is if you go to a planet and somebody is already there, then you will see them, right? If you go to a space station and someone's already there, you'll see them. And we added a social space to kind of bring everyone together. A bit like if people have played Destiny, a bit like Tower, right? Where whenever you go there, there are people there, there's a hub, right? And we upped the player count to 32 players. Depending on platform, you'll see 32 players in the Nexus, which is our social space, and you can also see them in the wild as you go and play the game, which is really cool and really changes the game. And it's absolutely crazy to see, you know, in amongst that VR players, right, just wandering around in their headset waving to you because they've got control over their hands or whatever. So we have this social space now, which really kind of impacts all parts of the game, because previously you've been upgrading your ship or you've been upgrading your suit or whatever, and no one could really see that. You're just sort of doing it for yourself. It's suddenly so much more engaging when you're working hard for those things, when you can just park up your ship and everyone else can see it, right, every time you go to the Nexus. And you go to the Nexus a lot, if that's what you're into, because there's loads of shops there, lots of new shops, lots of ways to upgrade your character and your ship and your weapon, which are all there, which is really kind of neat part of the game. It brings together a load of parts that felt a little bit disparate into more of a whole there, and you have, you know, almost a quick restart of where you were.
Okay, well, I just stopped it just for a moment, Chums, because I spotted something interesting I want to share with you. Now, as it pans up here, you can see a sort of wiki droid above some sort of square object. So he's just floating above it, and on the actual top surface of that square object is what appears to be a holographic projection. There's some sort of little radar dish next to it, but I'm wondering whether that little desk there has got some sort of functionality to maybe use some sort of ship customization on whichever ship you've got landed on the landing pad. Then I would almost expect one of these little units to be by each of the landing pads, but I'm only seeing one, so I could be completely wrong. This thing could just be complete decal, but you know, look, you can see now the hologram there that I was on about, and here I'm panning around looking to see if I can see any others. Now there is one of those square objects that looks like it's got the hologram on top of it just there, but I'm not seeing the wiki droid to interact with. But maybe it only appears by the ship that you own. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking over into yonder on all the other landing pads and I'm not seeing many of those square objects. So it could just be complete speculation, I could be wrong. And oh, I saw one of the merchants and he looks like the Quicksilver droid from Polo and Nada's gaff. Yeah! So there we go, Chums.
So there's a multiplayer mission board, you go up to it. In that social space, when you do, any of the players around you get a message. You know, Sean is starting a mission, so you can go and join that mission, then you're in a fire team together. Everyone who goes to the Nexus kind of goes in without any loading time. It's just something that they summon in. They fly in and land and they can see other players who are there at the same time, right? So you just start to kind of randomly group up with players, start doing a mission together. Missions are things like, you know, bounty hunting, or you know, it's No Man's Sky, so it's things like archaeological missions, digging up bones or taking photos or whatever, right? And sometimes it's things like base building. And what we find is people are given a little base to build. There's like 4 of them, they join up into kind of a group or a fire team, and they fly down to a planet and they have to start building a base with, you know, these 3 things in it. And they start building a base together and they've never met each other before in their life. And then suddenly they've basically built a little home and they stay together in their group. and they start playing together and they keep expanding that base. So that's what we want to do, is take some of the best moments of No Man's Sky before, of people randomly meeting each other or randomly building a base together, and bringing them together, right? And it also really helps bring out that multiplayer aspect, because now you don't need 3 other friends who own the game, right? You can just meet random people easily at any time, just summon in that Nexus, fly in and start playing with them.
Okay, so even though they said that the player lobbies are 32 in size, you heard it there, they said that there was a fire team of 4 that go to build a base. So it could be missions are still limited to 4 players, whereas the lobbies are up to 32.
And then there's this kind of third pillar of the game, which, you know, we told people about virtual reality and we told people about, you know, online early on. We thought we were doing really well, because we told people way more than we normally do before release. Normally we don't say anything until the game's about to come out, or until an update's about to come out. So we were like, the community will be fine. We'll just tell them that there's 3 things and here's 2 of them. And that will be way more than we've ever told them. That will be cool. But of course, they completely fixated on what the 3rd thing was. It's been really interesting to watch for us, because everyone has something different that they want that 3rd thing to be. And I think that's really reflective of our community as a whole, that they are all playing the game in different ways. Some people do base building, some people do farming, some people are all about exploring, right? And they often can't even understand each other. They're like, what, you spend all of your time doing missions? Who are you, you know? It's really fun to watch. But it's really interesting as a developer, as a designer, that there's so many different ways to play the game, and that you're trying to pick things that they would really enjoy, you know, and would mean something to them or resonate. And that 3rd strand that we've been working on is actually to try and do that, right? Luckily, because if it was one feature, I don't think it would keep, you know, would manage to satisfy people, because they play it in so many different ways. Luckily, what we've been doing is a lot of features, right? And it is a really large amount. This is our kind of largest update to date. Next was quite large. When people see the patch notes, they'll see that there's about twice as many features as what Next has, which is pretty insane actually when I think about it. So there's all sorts of things. If you're into you know, kind of farming, right now you can farm like plants and things like that. Now you'll be able to farm animals. You'll be able to build like milking machines and tame and milk creatures. You can do creature riding. You can also build much more expanded bases, more than you've ever been able to do before. Bases that have much more creativity, so you can have electricity in them, you can have logic, so you can build little mini computers, or you could build your own little mad version of Rocket League or something like that, right? You can play in all these things multiplayer. And because we've expanded base building, actually a really cool thing is that from the social space, from the Nexus, you can share those things in the Nexus. And we will feature certain bases and stuff. So people can go to the Nexus and just see not just your ship and your loadout and how you look, but they can also see like the base you've built, which is really cool. That really makes you want to make that better. More things we've done to make base building deeper. We've added kind of industrial building parts, so people can build miners and extractors and batteries and solar panels and loads of things like that, which is a whole other way to play the game. It's basically just a huge raft of features. There's a new galactic map, a new discovery page. For people who like exploring, there's a new alien word system. You can meet aliens now, NPCs kind of walking around on planets. You can meet them walking around on space stations. They've got new quests and stuff. So we want, for people who have played even 1,000 hours before, we want it to feel, you know, fresh and deeper for them. You know, that it's trying to bring as many of those disparate elements back together as one kind of cohesive whole, and each one feeling like it's valid, like it was there from day one. So that's why we're kind of calling that third pillar version 2.0. We're upping the version number to 2, and we're trying to wrap together so many updates from the last 3 years into one whole that we will continue to update from there. but it's a really important milestone for us.
Okay, well, I don't feel I need to slow any of that down. I mean, you can just rewatch it again if you want. I mean, that is freaking mind-blowing, isn't it? I mean, oh my god, the Nexus. Kaboom! It's freaking amazing. So yeah, it's like a shared space in time that we can all use as an interactive players hub. It is freaking wondrous. Oh my freaking days! Yeah, I can't wait. This looks freaking amazing. And some of the other stuff that he said about farming creatures. Oh, that is just... Oh, wow, I can't wait. I can't wait. That's just milking a Diplo and stuff like that. This is stuff that we've joked about, me and old Doody Dude and KJ and stuff in Doody Dude's stream. Yeah, if you want to check out that video of us actually talking about milking a Diplo and needing ladders and things. Yeah, it's actually on Doody Dude, Mr. Doody Dude's channel. In fact, I'll put a card at the top, a link directly to the video in question. If I can, it's kind of up that sort of direction up there, a little card, go click that and go watch Mr. Doody Dude's video. Anyway, chums, I'm not going to hold you up any longer, but for me, hearing this news has really made me feel a little bit better about the third element of No Man's Sky, because it seems to be a massive amount of stuff that is just unimaginable, stuff that wasn't even on my freaking radar is going in the game. So yeah, goodbye, chums, and I would love to hear your comments, please. Thank you very much to all my Patreon and PayPal supporters. Thank you very much there, chums. And if you want to become a Patreon supporter, hop on over to Patreon. There's something there for pretty much everyone. And yes, I am hoping to get a 3D printer that's capable of printing decently detailed ship models, which I'm hoping to send to each of my Patreon and PayPal supporters that back me on a regular basis. And yeah, hopefully send those out maybe once or twice a year, depending on where in the world you are located. And yeah, my aim is about $400, so I'm a little bit shy of that, but please continue to support me. And this song that you're hearing right now is by Nerve. Go check him out. And here is my own website. And on my website you can find loads of merch, and you can also find Android watch faces, which I'm doing for free, and wallpapers and all sorts of other gnarly stuff. So go and hop on over there. And here's some links to some of my other content. And yes, if you're not already subscribed to my new channel, please do so. Yeah, okay, well, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye now. Cheerio.